There's an easy way and there's a hard way to learn JavaFX. The hard way is to download and install the JDK and then get an IDE and then do a Maven build and then add the required dependencies and then create your code. And then after you've done that, you've got to configure the Java runtime environment to pick up some other JavaFX files that you have to download and install. And if all of that goes wrong, well, your program won't run. It'll be super frustrating. And that's really bad because JavaFX is an amazing technology for building desktop applications, which is why I want you to learn JavaFX the easy way. And that's by going to replit.com and just registering there quickly and using their environment for creating a JavaFX app. It's going to make learning JavaFX so much easier, and trust me, it's going to make you really love JavaFX. And creating our first project in replit.com, that is what we're going to do next. So here's part one. Part one is just going over to replit.com and registering. Don't worry, you won't get on major spam lists. It's a reputable company, and they've got all of these online compilers and build environments there. Just log in and click that beautiful Create App button, and right away it's going to say, what do you want to create? And I'm going to select this Choose a Template. I'm not going to use the AI stuff, and I'm just going to say I want to create a little JavaFX application. It says, okay, OpenJFX, we're good with that. It says, give it a name. I'll call it Hello World because that's kind of the requisite. I'll click Create App here, and then boom, all of a sudden we get an actual running app. I'm going to close that AI assistant over there and take a look at the code that they provided us. And it's actually a lot of code. I might actually trim this down in just a minute, but this is an actually fully functioning JavaFX application. It says, hey, there's a text field, there's a label, there's a button. We can click run, and all of this code will run right away. And our JavaFX application will come up. It'll say type in some text. I'll say Java rocks. I'll click the button, then it says Java rocks right back to me. And there you go. That's how easy it is to just run a JavaFX application in this replit.com tool. Trust me, it's a lot more work running this in Eclipse because there's a lot of things that you have to install. But we don't want to take that code there and just claim victory. What we want to do is a little bit of editing of that code, and that's exactly what we're going to do next. Now, what I love about Replit is it allows us to run our code right away. We know that the JavaFX environment works, but all of this code makes learning a little bit difficult. So if you forgive me for my sins, I'm going to delete all of this code here just to simplify a little bit. And I think you'll agree that this class is a little simpler now with all that code gone. A couple of things to point out. First of all, the class extends application. I think we'll see application up there in the imports. There it is, just importing that there. I'm going to throw a little couple of asterisks on there because I think we're going to need a whole bunch of different classes there. That might save us a little bit of time. Okay, we've done that. But you can see that, yeah, javafx.application gets imported. That's the class that we extend. Now, by extending it, a couple of things happen. First of all, this static method becomes available to us. And I can prove that it's static by the fact that when it comes out of the dryer, it sticks to my clothes. But not only does it have static cling, it can also be referenced from the name of the class, right? Main.launch. We have to say main equals new main. So it's a static method that essentially kicks off the desktop application. So that's critical. Now, the other thing is, when the desktop application kicks off, it calls this start method, which has a stage passed into it. There's this whole theatrical metaphor that JavaFX uses. The idea is that we create scenes, and after we create scenes, we're given this stage that's passed into this method, and then we set the stage, maybe give a title to it, and then we show the stage to the audience, and that's the application coming up. It's kind of a cute metaphor to work with. And why don't we work with it? Why don't we just try and create a stage show where we've just got a button on it that says hello world, right? So var button equals new button, hello world. That's going to create a new button. Now, that's just going to create a new button. We want to have that part of the show, right? So the next thing that we have to do is we have to create a scene. So we'll create a scene that'll be part of the show, that'll be shown on the stage. And we say var scene equals new scene. And now we're adding the button to the scene. We'll make the scene 300 by 100. That's a pretty good size for a button. And then what do we do after that? Well, okay, we've got the scene. Now we've got the stage up there. I've changed the name, not primary stage. We've got the stage. And what do we want to do with the stage? Well, we want to set the scene. We want to set the scene that has that button on it. Now, if you've got a scene up there, you can give it a little title. I guess you got to have a billing on the board outside the theater. So this will be called a simple scene. And then what do you do with a stage? Well, once you've got that stage there, well, you can show the stage to your audience. And that's exactly what I'm going to do, stage.show. And there you go. Now we've got a simple JavaFX application where we've created a button, we've added it to the scene, we've set the stage with the scene, we've put a title on the billing outside the theater, and then we say stage.show, and this should show a button on our desktop application. Now, I'm from Missouri. I need to be shown these things, so I'm going to click this Run button. I'm going to hope that all of my imports have been done. And there you go. A simple 300 by 100 button, and I can click on it, and life is good. Kind of neat, right? So that is how the whole thing works. I'll show you some of the imports up there if you really want to take a look at them. But yeah, that's how easy it is to get your own JavaFX application running. Now, right now we just got one button on the scene, but there's also a bunch of different layouts that you can use, like a grid layout. And what you can do is then add multiple things to the layout and then put the layout in the scene, and then all of the different components go on. But this is a bit more advanced topic, which I do in the subsequent tutorial on JavaFX, but this kind of gets you started. Okay, I'm doing just a very quick interruption here. A couple of things. The YouTube algorithm hates me for some reason right now. If you're enjoying this video, if you could like, subscribe, and even leave a comment, I would really love to hear from you and find out if you've enjoyed this. It'll also help wake up the YouTube algorithm and maybe give my channel and my videos a little bit more exposure. So I would really appreciate that. The other thing too is I got a new copy of Hibernate Made Easy coming out, the best-selling book. I've updated it for version 7 of Hibernate. So if you're into JPA, Spring Data, Spring JDBC, please sign up for my mailing list. You don't have to buy it, but I'll be raffling off some free copies for members of my newsletter. And I'll also be making chapters available through the newsletter as well. So sign up for that. There's a link in the description. And finally, I helped out with some final edits on Darcy DeClute Scrum Master Certification Guide. So if you're agile and you're working with Scrum and you're interested in getting Scrum Master certified, a lot of people have been using this book to score 100% on the Product Owner and Scrum Master exam. So it's available on Amazon. Go pick that up. I know Darcy would be very happy if you did. Okay, that's it. I'm really sorry to bother you. Let's get back into the coding. Now, one thing I do want to show you just before we finish off is I want to show you just even maybe adding an event or something like that. So I'm going to add a little event and attach it to this button. And I'm just going to show the time anytime somebody clicks on the button. So maybe I'll change the text of the button to say something like, what time is it? Ask a little question there, give myself a little bit more real estate here to work with. And then I'll say button.set on action. Okay, so when somebody clicks on this button, an event will fire off. I'll use a little lambda expression there, get my arrows in. I'm going to throw some chicken lips in there, curly braces. I don't know what you call them in your country, but that's what we call them in Canada. And I'm just going to create a time object. So local time now equals local time dot now. Okay, that looks good there. And I'll say button.set text. The time is, quote, blah, 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 now. And that should display the time. Now, the next thing I need to do is just do a quick import of local time. Let me go up here. What is that? Import java.time.star. All right, so we got our import in there. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And let's see, does this class look handsome? I'm going to organize this a little bit here just so we can see everything on one page. In fact, I might even delete that override there. Okay, we did it. We got everything on the same page from the first chicken lip to the last one. I'm always tempted to click Control S to save, but I guess we don't need to do that. So I'm going to close that window, click Stop, and now I'm going to click that beautiful green button once again. Oh, it does say that I've got a little bit of an error there. You got to have the correct syntax, so I'm not going to get too upset with the replet for that. Now when I've got my semicolon in there, all I have to do is run this again. So I'll click run. And now that output tab appears and you can see it says, what time is it? I'm going to click the button that'll trigger the event and then it'll say, hey, it is 23, 26, 29. That all looks mighty handsome to me. Click it again. Boom, it's changing, it's updating, and you can see that those events are now firing and it's giving me the new time every time I click on it. And there you go. That is just how easy it is to get started with JavaFX if you use replit.com. Now, if you want to start doing more advanced stuff with this, you want to use an IDE like VS Code or Eclipse. I've got tutorials on how to install those and how to get started with JavaFX in those environments. And I've also got another tutorial on how to create a little bit more advanced application using Eclipse and JavaFX. And if you want to become an expert in JavaFX, I urge you, implore you, I would even go so far as to say it behooves you to go and check out those videos.